Hello. You having a good time? These are fun. I love coming to these every year. You'd like to see them continue, wouldn't you? Can you tell I'm baiting you? These are great. The Texas Hall of Fame is a great source of Texas pride and reminds us of our past. We get to celebrate our contemporaries. We have to keep our eye on the future. We have to guarantee and ensure the future. What will the Texas Hall of Fame look like in 10 years? Will it even exist? We need to make sure it does. Members of the legislature who are here with us tonight, the future of the Texas film industry is in your hands. Not that hand, that's the wine glass, the other hand. And we appreciate the support that you've given us. And the dreams of one becomes the dreams of many when people that are born to create can stay living their creative lives here in Texas. So thank you, and we look forward to the bright future that will be Texas Hall of Fame with your help. I want to introduce somebody now. I'm very excited to introduce. This embodies the whole spirit of the Texas Hall of Fame. Mr. John Hawks is someone that I've known for a long time, longer than he ever heard about me. I knew about him. When I first came to college here, UT in the mid-'80s, John Hawks was already known all around town. He was the go-to guy, local actor. I remember seeing a movie, independent film in '86 called Scary Movie. He was the star of, made by a local filmmaker. And I did a movie poster for another independent film called Never Leave Nevada. John was in that. You'd go to any of the student films. John was in all of those. John was always the go-to guy, the go-to actor. If you wanted a good actor in Austin, you called John Hawks. And years later, 6 years later, I went and made my first film, El Mariachi, which led me to Hollywood to make my second film. El Mariachi, I didn't use real actors. I used just friends. The first movie that I actually made was called Road Racers, just before Desperado. And it starred Salma Hayek in her first movie, David Arquette in his first starring role. And I did it for some producers for a cable series called Rebel Highway for Showtime. And I went to make my first feature out there and learn what it was like to work with actors. And I remember asking the producer, can I see some of the other movies in your series just to get an idea of how you all are even making these? And they showed me one called The Cool and the Crazy that Ralph Bakshi directed. And I saw this guy stealing scenes in the background. And I said, who's that? Who's that actor there in the background? He wasn't a lead, he was a bit player. But he was stealing the scenery. And they said, oh, that's John Hawks. He's awesome. He didn't have a very big part, but everything he did was really terrific. And I said, I know that guy. He's from Austin. I want to use him in my movie. And they said, you can't. We have a policy that once we've used an actor in one of the other movies in the series, we don't want to reuse them because every movie is supposed to be a standalone movie. And we've already used him, so you have to find somebody else. I said, okay. I said, no, wait a minute, fuck that. You guys have him on the background there, and I'm going to give him a lead role. He's an amazing actor. I've seen him carry entire independent projects. And I need somebody to be the other lead in this movie. And they said, okay, Robert, you made your point. Let go of my neck. And they let me cast John. And John came in, this was 94, and proceeded to spoil the crap out of me. I had never worked with actors, and for some reason, I thought they were all going to be like John, and they weren't. John comes in, and he drops both feet into a role. He digs his fingers into a character, and to watch him create a character from the ground up is just absolutely amazing. And he embodied this character. He found a character study. He modeled himself after it. And I was in hog heaven seeing him bring this character to life, and he was awesome. And producers thanked me later because every scene John did was just one amazing piece of work after another. I went off and did Desperado, and then when it came time to do From Dusk Till Dawn with Quentin Tarantino, that was his first movie after Pulp Fiction, from his screenplay. After Pulp Fiction, we're able to cast anyone we wanted. We got Harvey Keitel, George Clooney in his first movie role, Juliette Lewis. For the opening sequence, I had the great Michael Parks, George, Quentin, And I needed someone to be the store clerk, and we had a lot of actors come in and read for the part, big name actors. I won't name who they were so I don't embarrass them because they didn't get the role. But they came in and they were all good, but they weren't magic. And I thought, maybe I'm just being closed-minded because I worked with John. I really think John would kick the shit out of this. And he's not a name like these guys are. And I can't just hire him. Quentin and Lawrence Bender, producer of Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, have a say also. So I called John and I said, John, you have to come in and read for them, and you gotta kill it. If you kill it, I'm sure they'll give you the part. But there's other people for the competition. You got a lot of competition with other people, but they're just, they're not magic. They're not blowing me away. And I really need, Quentin's dialogue has to sing. It can't just be stated. So John said, okay, why I even asked him to do that? I have no idea, because that's all John does is he comes in and he kills it. So John comes in, gets in a room with Quentin and Lawrence, and he kills it, and he leaves. And I just remember the looks on Quentin and Lawrence's face. And I said, that tornado who just came through here, I want to hire him. And they said, yes, of course you can hire him. But through Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, we've seen just about every actor, young up-and-coming actor there is in this town. We thought, where'd you find this guy? And that was one of my I was so proud of John at that moment, because I was able to look at these two very accomplished people and say, he's from Texas. One of my proudest moments in my career. John went on to do great work. He showed up again with George Clooney in Perfect Storm, You, Me, and Everyone Else. He did, that's the name of the movie, if you've ever seen it. He went on to be in Deadwood, and you look him up on IMDb, he's just done a ton of great work. And I just talked to Gary Dourdan earlier tonight. He was saying the same thing. John's a thief, Gary was in a movie with him called Playing God, and he said, I wasn't in a scene with him. I met him on the set, and then later I went and saw the movie, and he stole the movie from everyone. He just continually, anything you watch him in, John steals the show. And he got a Spirit Award this year for Winter's Bone. And, for someone who started their career in Austin, it's great to have him back. He got something a lot of our inductees don't ever get, which is something very difficult to achieve. He was nominated for an Academy Award this year. We're going to look at some of his work right now, and then he'll come out. But it is with great pleasure and pride, Texas pride, to give the Rising Star Award. And he is rising, even though he's been at it since the 80s. He is rising because it only gets much better from here. Mr. John Hawkes, let's take a look.